Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing another episode of the Complete Marvel Rivals Guide. My name is Kearless, and if you don't know me already, I am a 2-time Peak Eternity player and continue to play this game to this very day. It's nice to meet you. This is the Complete Marvel Rivals Guide. It is a series where I will be posting every single day going over high-level concepts that you should be utilizing in your own games if you want to improve. My overall goal with this series is to help a ton of people to achieve their peak ranks. And without any further ado, let's get into it. On screen now, I'm going to put up the complete lesson guide, so if you guys ever wanted to choose a lesson that you're not super comfortable on, I'm going to put that on screen now so you can go ahead and pick one. Alright, so last lesson was information gathering, and we learned how to gather information about enemy positions, teammates' positions, cooldowns, ultimates, missing players, and what happens throughout the fight, but gathering information means nothing if you don't really know how to use it. And the game is constantly changing, so your strategy should change with it, and this is where adaptation comes in. And for those of you who don't know what adaptation is recognizing when something has changed and then adjusting your decisions because of it. So the strategy that worked during the last fight might not work during 3 fights later on. And both teams are constantly learning about each other and changing up what they're doing. So like you adapt in ways like hero swaps or positioning changes or different play styles, enemy strategies, and like even your own team's strengths and weaknesses will adjust during the fight. And adaptation matters because imagine that you've won the first 3 fights by dividing up the enemy backline and then killing each one of them. And what does the enemy do? They adapt and they play together. So maybe they swap heroes, play closer, save cooldown specifically for the dive, position farther back, and then start focusing you whenever you engage. And if you keep doing the exact same thing, eventually it will stop working. So a strategy is pretty much only good for as long as it keeps working. So you want to make sure that you're not autopiloting. That's like one of the biggest enemies of improvement is turning your brain on autopilot. You pretty much stop asking yourself why you're doing something and then you just engage, die, and respawn, and then engage the same way and die again. So instead of that, every single failed fight, you should be learning new information. So you should ask what didn't work and then change that thing. So the adaptation loop kind of goes like this. It's where you try something, then you observe what happens, and then identify if it worked or if it failed, then adjust, and then try again. That's what adaptation is. And the loop repeats for pretty much the entire match. And every fight should teach you something, and it should tell you what to do during the next fight. And I want to emphasize that adaptation doesn't always mean swapping heroes. And I think this is something that's really important that we should cover. And when typical players hear the word adapt, they often immediately think like, oh, maybe I should counter swap. And yeah, sometimes that's correct, but you can also adapt without actually changing your hero. Like you can change positioning, target priority, timing, angles, cooldown usage, whoever you're playing around, or how aggressively that you are playing and how aggressive your angles that you're taking. And sometimes even just a tiny adjustment fixes pretty much the entire problem. And you can also change your positioning. So like if you're playing Punisher and you've been dominating from the high ground, but then the enemy Spider-Man actually realizes this and then he starts diving you before every fight, you don't necessarily need to swap your character. Instead, you could just play closer to your strategist or save your defensive resources, or even just change high ground locations, maybe step a little bit farther back so that the Spider-Man doesn't have an easier chance of getting to you, or just position yourself to where the Spider-Man has to actually expose himself until he can reach you. So now his adaptation created your new adaptation, and now you're going to be favorable in the fight until he tries to figure something else out. And let's say maybe you've been focusing the Luna Snow, but now the Luna plays way farther back, has protection, saves her cooldowns for your engage, and meanwhile the Punisher is isolated and far away from his supports. So your target priority should change, and this connects directly back to lesson 7, and if you haven't watched that video, you should go watch that video, and you should go on that isolated Punisher. So you don't want to force the other opportunities that you could have gotten previously in this new fight. And sometimes even the strategy is correct, but just the timing isn't. So like if your Venom keeps diving the backline and the enemy immediately turns and kills him, instead of abandoning the dive completely, wait and let your team create pressure first, and then the enemy's going to use up their cooldowns on your team creating pressure, and then you can dive. So it's the same exact strategy, but it ends up being different timing, and then you'll get a completely different result, because an enemy without cooldowns can't do as much as an enemy team with cooldowns, you know? And this one that I'm about to talk about might be the most obvious one, but adapting to different hero swaps. So if the enemy swaps heroes, and now your threat on the map might change, or their win condition may change, or the target priority may change, or your positioning might change. So you should ask yourself, what does this hero change about the fight? And don't just think that they swapped, but actually think about what the swap changes for you. And adapting to playstyles kind of consists of like, pretty much think that two players can be playing the exact same hero, but completely differently. So one Spider-Man might constantly dive the backline, but another one might wait patiently for low health targets. So the same hero can have a different threat, and sometimes you don't need to change the character, you just need to change your playstyle. And this next one is where pattern recognizing kind of becomes advanced. And this next one is kind of where adaptation becomes sort of advanced, and it's like recognizing the patterns. So players will often repeat themselves in like the way that they play and the way that they move. So maybe the Psylocke will always take the same flank or engage after their Venom, and then maybe they just target the Luna Snow constantly, and maybe they even use the same cooldowns as an escape. And after you've seen it twice, you should pretty much start expecting it. And this also sets up predictive plays really well, which goes strictly into lesson 22, which should be coming out tomorrow. And I want you to remember that adaptation goes both ways. It doesn't just go for your team. You want to think that the enemy is going to be adapting to you as well. So if something works repeatedly, ask, how are they going to try to stop this? And don't wait until they counter you and win that fight, but you should start anticipating their adjustments so then you can adjust their playstyle. So there's another side to this where it's pretty much don't over-adapt. You shouldn't change your entire strategy after one single bad fight. Maybe somebody missed their ability or your team wasn't ready. Maybe you guys made a mechanical mistake, or the enemy hit like a super difficult shot that they're not going to be able to redo. And one failure doesn't automatically mean that the strategy is wrong, but you should be looking for the patterns. So you want to be like adapting to the patterns, not like your guys' panic. So we're going to go over the examples now. So let's say you're on Spider-Man and you've eliminated the Luna at the start of multiple fights, and now the Luna starts positioning besides like the Groot or the Mag, and then you attempt to dive again, but it ends up failing. And the next fight, instead of forcing the Luna, maybe you pressure that isolated DPS who's taken the off angle, and then at that point your team is in a 5v6 and now you guys win. So I want you to think that when the enemy removes one opportunity, look for the next opportunity that they might have created somewhere else. And now for the next good example, if the enemy Psylocke keeps flanking your strategist from the same exact route, the first time she might get a kill, and then the second time you realize, oh wait, she's doing this again, so you recognize the pattern, and then the third fight you position near that route and then wait, and then when the Psylocke arrives, your team immediately punishes her. And now for the bad examples, if you're on Venom and then you dive, and then 6 enemies turn around and then you die, and then the next fight you do the same exact dive, and then the same timing, same target, same everything, and then you die, and then even the next fight you do it again. So repeating your failed strategy without changing anything isn't persistence, it's more like autopilot. Like, you're not gonna win by doing the same thing. And then the next bad example is where you lose one fight and then you immediately swap heroes, and then you lose another and then you immediately swap again and then again. And now you've changed your entire strategy without understanding what was actually going wrong. So you're adapting before you've even identified the problem, and that's obviously something that you shouldn't even do. So here are some common mistakes that I see across every single rank, and they're autopiloting, repeating the same failed strategy, blaming teammates instead of identifying the problem, thinking that adaptation always means swapping heroes, changing too much after one bad fight, ignoring enemy adjustments, and recognizing a problem but not even changing anything. And some questions to ask yourself during the game is, after losing the fight, ask yourself, why did you fail? What changed? What is the enemy doing differently? Are they countering something that we're doing? Do I need to change my positioning? Should my target priority change? Should my timing change? Or maybe even, what is the smallest adjustment I can make? Because even the super small adjustments can have crazy big impact. So for your next 5 games, every single time that you lose 2 fights in a row, ask, what is one thing that I can change for the next fight? You don't need to immediately swap heroes, but you want to first identify the problem and then make that one specific adjustment, whether it's change your positioning, your target, your timing. Maybe it's something as simple as just saving a cooldown or taking a different angle. And then after the next fight, see whether your adjustment worked, and then that is deliberate adaptation. So something that I've noticed is that it's really easy to recognize what your teammates should change, but it's much harder to recognize what you should change, like when something isn't working. You should try to focus on the part of the problem that you can actually control. So even if your teammate is making a mistake, ask yourself how you can adapt around it. You can't control the other 5 players on your team, but you can always change your own decisions. So adaptation is recognizing what's happening and changing your strategy, but eventually you can take that one step further. So instead of waiting for the enemy to make their move and then kind of adapting to it, you can start like predicting what they're gonna do before they even do it. And that's where we're gonna cover in lesson 22, which is tomorrow's lesson, and that's gonna be predictive play. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. That's going to be the end of the video today. I don't really have much to say that's different. The only thing that I think is going to be different is that I'm moving in tomorrow, and I really want to set up my entire dorm because I have so many things that I need to move in. So tomorrow's video might not come out. It might come out the day later, but also it might just be really late when I publish it because I don't even know if I'm going to be setting up my computer first because, you know, I have to like raise my bed, put like my drawers and dresser underneath. I just have to do so many things when I get there, really. And I got like 2 cars full of junk that I'm taking to college with me, which low-key I know is a lot, but I like having my room be kind of homey. I don't like making it feel like a prison cell, if you know what I mean. I don't like having the empty walls, you know. You guys will know. But yeah, so I am moving in tomorrow, so I have a lot of things that I'm going to need to be doing. I don't know if I'm going to get the video posted. Just be on the lookout. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'm still working on your guys' suggestions. One of them is getting to like 40 minutes long, one of the videos. So I'm sorry about that, but it's just taking a long time for me to make, because even though these like 15-minute videos take me well over 2 hours, almost 3 hours now, I am getting more efficient with my editing, so it's not taking as long. But yeah, so anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you did like the video, please click the like button, please subscribe, even drop a comment. I love seeing your guys' comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.